And what happens is getting a little cheeky and silly, and they'll ask for things like, "Hey, play Stairway to Heaven," and I'll do it. Or one time, someone's like, "Hey, play Desolation Row by Bob Dylan." I'm like, "Yeah, I will do this song," you know.
That's the beauty of the internet. You can just look up the chords and words, and you're all set.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Here, I want to find a lyric of a song. So give me a second here while I'm digging it up. I actually probably don't even need the lyrics because I'm pretty good at memorizing them, but I want to make sure I don't get it wrong.
Yeah, the song you did before was like a mix of different artists, so we'll try a few of those, maybe with Bruce, and then maybe you can do one by, I don't know, Leonard Cohen or Neil Young, and
sure.
You know, pretend you're them. And these are your songs that you're pretending with, right? Yeah,
and that's something that I've done now for a long time, and it's just the way I mean, you got to entertain yourself, right? So, yeah, right. So like this is a good example. It's like, let's see if I can pull this off with my Canadian key of A. That's what I'm in here.
Is the Canadian A different from the American A?
It's just a joke because, you know, A. Right?
I get it.
But this is funny. So, yeah, it's the Older Soldiers. This is off that record I did called Impressions, and which is on Bandcamp. Bandcamp only. That's where I put my stuff. I don't put my stuff on anywhere else because, honestly, it costs money to put the stuff up there, and I like how on Bandcamp I don't have to pay. And it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, this is a song I did with my Bruce Springsteen thing. So here we go. Older Soldiers. Well, I was never born to suffer against the grain of some crooked law. There's been talk in town that's been believed. Well, I must ride with the wind tonight. Well, I staggered into town a stranger, gazing through a veil of tears, using wisdom gathered by word of mouth, gathered long over the years. You can throw all the blame on me, baby. I'm a martyr in my belief. Oh, if you look out into my heart, well, you fear I'm innocent. Older soldiers never died, oh, well, they simply fade away whenever dreams been dreamt. Well, they must awake to the blame. Well, so everything comes to a standstill when the days are not my own, with a stubborn scowl painted on my face. I must ride with the wind tonight. Well, I don't know what tomorrow brings. Life changes like the seasons, with a trace of a smile, and with you by my side, well, I know the time's gonna look up. Well, you can throw all your blame on me, baby. I'm a martyr in my belief. Oh, if you look up into my heart, well, you fear I'm innocent. All the soldiers never died, oh, but they simply fade away when every dream's been dreamt. Well, they must awake to the blame.
That's a good one.
See, the funny thing is, when I do impression, I don't just do the impression of the voice as much. I do even the way it would be played, you know, because the original version of that song, it had a very different rhythm style, and I also played harmonica differently. So, you know, I'm doing even a Springsteen harmonica impression, which is kind of fun to do. You know, it's just like, how would he have played it? You know?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, I love it.
It sounds very close.
Yeah. It's hard to do. I mean, you get some of his songs. Well, now, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? Well, I got a bad desire. You know, and you got to remember that there's all these different people that he's channeling.
Right.
He's channeling Elvis. He's channeling Johnny Cash on that song. So he'd be like, well, sometimes like someone took a knife, baby, it's ain't don't want to go to 6-inch valley through the middle of well, that night we love. Then Johnny Cash, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? They go and leave you all alone, right?
Yeah.
So you got a little bit of all these different influences. You got to channel yourself when you're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good. And then Neil Young. You got
Neil Young. Well, Neil Young is someone that, of course, I grew up drinking the same water as him, so doing Neil Young stuff is very, you know, it's not hard to do Neil Young for me.
Right.
Like that's so. Like, let's say, I don't know, what's a good one? Oh man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Oh man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Oh man, look at my life. 24 and there's so much more. Live alone in a paradise makes me think of two. Love lost such a cost. Give me things that don't get lost, like a coin that won't get tossed, rolling home to you. Take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through.
Yeah.
Lullabies look in your eyes, run around the same old town. Doesn't mean that much to me, to mean that much to you. I've been first and last, look at how the time goes past, but I'm all alone at last, holding on to you. Oh, take a look at my life, I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. Oh, one look in my eye, you can tell that's true. Oh man, look at my life. I'm a lot like Neil Young. Oh man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then there's Leonard Cohen.
Leonard Cohen. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, Leonard Cohen, I like the early Leonard Cohen a lot because that stuff is just like, I don't know, something about that early era. You know, we're talking all of the, you know, like basically back then, I think he was still hoping to have the permission as a poet to be a songwriter. You know, and Judy Collins covered his songs, and that gave him a big boost.
He also hadn't destroyed his vocal cords with cigarettes quite yet.
Yeah,
You know.
and of course, he was very calm and Buddhist and all that, and that's why he was so calm, singing so deeply and resonantly, is because he really was a meditative kind of guy. I think he spent most of his time meditating. So you just had he was a very different kind of person. And early on, when you hear his songs, you just go, well, you know, that he's not the greatest singer, but then you know the song has wheels, you know, like you just go, wow, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can. Let's try it around here. I just gotta find the right key. I think it's actually an E. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
So
like...
this is, yeah, and I wish I had my classical guitar, but of course I didn't tour with that. I don't tour with that, but you know, it sounded even more like it because that, of course, I'll do a harmonica solo, which Leonard Cohen would have never done. I loved you in the morning, our kisses deep and warm, your hair upon the pillow like a sleepy golden storm. Yes, many loved before us, I know that we are not new. In city and in forest they smile like me and you. Now it's come to distances, both of us must try. Your eyes are soft with sorrow. Hey, that's no way to say goodbye. I'm not looking for another as I wander in my time. Walk me to the corner, no steps will always rhyme. You know my love goes with you, your love stays with me. It's just the way it changes, like the shoreline and the sea. Now it's come to distances, things we can untie. Your eyes soft with sorrow. Hey, that's no way to say goodbye. I loved you in the morning, our kisses deep and warm, your hair upon the pillow like a sleepy golden storm. Yes, many loved before us, I know that we are not new. In city and in forest they smile like me and you. But now it's talk of love and chains, things we can untie. Your eyes soft with sorrow. Hey, that no way to say goodbye.
Nice.
Good song.
Yeah, that was good.
I like that song.
The guitar part was very accurate.
Yeah,
It
it's
sounded
true.
great.
It is. I mean, I haven't listened to that song in a while, so maybe I'm not.
Yeah.
I need to listen to it again because of the. But I remember there was all these singing girls in there, and I don't have that. You can't do that. The bump ba da 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 da.
Well, I thought about it
You should have done
because, but I can't hit the notes because they do it would have to be falsetto for
it.
me.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the production on those early recordings is very interesting.
Yeah,
They had
and
some really interesting things going on. They were fading instruments in and out. It's really a kind of a funny
Well,
way to make a record.
and then later, when he started doing that stuff in the 80s, like First We Take Manhattan, I mean, that was just so interesting because, he was doing all these folk albums and then suddenly he's doing electronica more or less.
Yeah, do you remember that one? Is this what you wanted to live in a house that is haunted
I don't remember that
by
one.
the ghosts of you and me? You never heard that one? Is this what you wanted? Check it out. There's an album
I should
he
listen.
made in 1974. So many good songs. There's a song on there called Lover, Lover. You might know. It goes like, I asked my mother. That one?
Yeah.
Or something like, oh, now lover, 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 come back to me. And then There Is a War, I think is on there too. Why don't you come on back to the war?
Yeah, did you hear
Good songs.
the newest album? When he died, did
No.
you hear it? You should get that one. You Want It Darker?
I liked that Live in London record.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah,
I have that.
And
yeah.
he's like, well, they poured across the border. I was cautioned to surrender. This I couldn't do. I took my gun and vanished.
Yeah.
He's got that picking pattern. It's really cool.
Is that The Partisan? Is that what that's called?
He does this picking thing where it goes. And that's actually not his song. It's from like 1940 or something. Actually, I think it's in this key. It's like. It's hard to do that on my fingers. Well, they poured across the border. I was cautioned to surrender. This I couldn't do. I took my gun and vanished. I have changed my name so often. I have lost my wife and children, but I've many friends, and some of them are with me. Yeah,
That's
like that.
good.
I wish I had my classical because I could do that same picking with that better.
Do you you know any Guess Who?
Oh, I love Guess Who, man. Oh yeah, great band. I'm gonna do one of my all-time favorite songs from them. Okay.
Okay.
This song is a song that I think the world really needs. It's just probably one of the most I don't know how to put it, but a song that it was probably topical at the time, but it's just become so timeless and necessary. It's called Share the Land.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Have you been around? Have you done your share of coming down? Different things that people do. Have you been aware? You got brothers and sisters who care about what's gonna happen to you in a year from now. Maybe I'll be there to shake your hand. Maybe I'll be there to share the land that they'll be giving away when we gonna live together. We're talking about together now. Maybe I'll be there to shake your hand. Maybe I'll be there to share the land that they'll be giving away when we gonna live together. Yeah, yeah. Did you read the news? Did you pay your dues this morning when the paper landed in the yard? Did you know their names? Did you play their games without losing track and coming down a bit too hard? Oh, sing along. Baby, I'll be there to shake your hand. Baby, I'll be there to share the land. We'll be giving away. We gonna live together, gathered together. Baby, I'll be there to shake your hand. Baby, I'll be there to share the land that be given away. We gonna live together, yeah. Baby, I'll be there to shake your hand. Baby, I'll be there to share the land they'll be giving away. We gonna live together, talking about together now. Baby, I'll be there to shake your hand. Baby, I'll be there to share the land that they'll be giving away. We gonna live together. Yeah.
Nice.
Fantastic song.
Yeah, I like that one. I remember when I lived in Canada that they're on the radio all the time.
Yeah.
And the reason is because the way radio formats work, right? You have classic rock, album rock, and different and country and different stuff. But there are requirements that in Canada you have to play Canadian music on air, and it's 30%.
Yeah.
Of all their music has to be Canadian.
Yeah, the government passed that in 1968, I believe it was. And a lot of people were upset at the time because they wanted to stand on their own feet as Canadians. But what the law was basically it'd be like about 60% of the material that radio would have to play would be Canadian.
Right.
So they were, picking from a pretty lucrative pool of musicians once they were using all Canadian talent. And it was a thing called CanCon, if you want to read up on it. CanCon, CANCON. CanCon was pretty, controversial, I guess. Some folks were like, oh, no, well, we want to listen to all of the whole world's music on the radio. But because of this, so many bands got on their feet. Rush, we could talk about forever, like Tragically Hip, Blue Rodeo. In fact, before I go, I'd really love to play a Blue Rodeo song.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
I want to make sure I play that. But you know what? I don't know how much time we have, but I wanted to play Don Quixote's for you. And I wanted to play Blue Rodeo. So,
all right, let's play.
Yeah, because
why don't you just go ahead?
So this is one of those things where I think that, as a musician coming from Canada, the soundtrack of Canada is a guy named Gordon Lightfoot, really. The soul of Canada. If you've ever been on a fishing trip or stayed overnight in a beautiful cabin in the woods with the stars, in the snow, or, gone out and gotten drunk at a campfire, you're probably wishing that there'd be a Gordon Lightfoot song playing in the background because it just feels right. And this is a song called Don Quixote, and it's from Gordon Lightfoot, and I'll do it for you. Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks.
Through the woodland, through the valley, the horseman wild and free. He's tilting at the windmills passing. Who can the brave young horseman be? He is wild, but he is mellow. He is strong, but he is weak. He is cruel, but he is gentle. He is wild, but he is meek. Reaching for a saddlebag, he takes a battered book into his hand. Standing like a prophet bold, he shouts across the ocean to the shore, so he can shout no more. I have come mooring mountain like a hawk upon the wing. I I was once a shining knight, was the guardian of a king. I have searched the whole world over, looking for a place to sleep. I have seen the strong survive, I have seen the lean grow weak. See the children of the earth wait to find the table bare. See the gentry in the country riding off to take the air. Reaching for a saddlebag, he takes a rusty sword into his hand. Striking up a nightly pose, he shouts across the ocean to the shore, till he can shout no more. See the jailer with his key locks away all trace of sin. See the judge upon the bench who tries the case as best he can. See the wise and wicked ones who feed upon life's sacred fire. See the soldier with his gun who must be dead who'd be admired. See the man who tips the needle. See the man who buys and sells. See the man who puts the collar on the ones who dare not tell. See the drunkard in the tavern, standing goat to make ends meet. See the youth in ghetto black, condemned to life upon the street. Reaching for a saddlebag, he takes a tarnished cross into his hand. Then standing like a preacher now, he shouts across the ocean to the shore. But in a blaze of tangled hooves, he gallops off across the dusty plain. In vain to search again, but no one will hear. Through the woodland, through the valley, comes a horseman wild and free, tilting at the windmills passing. Who can the brave young horseman be? He is wild, but he is mellow. He is strong, but he is weak. He is cruel, but he is gentle. He is wise, but he is meek.
Great. So we're close to the end, but let's do Blue Rodeo.
Yeah, Blue Rodeo. One of the best songs I ever heard in my whole life. And it's a song that, as far as I'm concerned, it's like it's a song that it hits me pretty hard, you know, as far as lyrics go. It really brings me back to Canada. So if anyone out there is homesick, you might have a hard time hearing this song. It's hard for me to sing it because it's it's one of the better songs they did, called Hasn't Hit Me Yet. And thank you, Aaron, for having me on the show.
Sure, no problem. This is Dan Frechette
what
doing
an honor.
Blue Rodeo.
You say that you're leaving, well, it comes as no surprise. Well, kinda like this feeling of being left behind. Well, this ain't nothing new to me. It's just like going home. Well, it's kinda like the sunset that leaves you feeling so stoned. Hey, I guess it hasn't hit me yet. I fell through this crack and I kinda lost my head. Well, I stand transfixed before the street light, watching the snow fall on this cold December night. Never thought that this could happen, but somehow this feeling's gone. Well, you got sick of the pattern, and I got lost in this song. Sing it if you know it. Hey, hey, I guess it hasn't hit me yet, but I fell through this crack and I kinda lost my head. Well, I stand transfixed before the street light, watching the snow fall on this cold December night, out in the middle of Lake Ontario. Same snow's falling on the deep silent water, the great dark wonder into the waves of my heart, into the waves of my heart, of my heart.
Great. So, are you heading back to California soon, or?
Yes, we're only out here for another 3-4 days. We have a couple house concerts out in Cape Cod area.
Can anybody go to them, or?
You can message us on our website, danandlaurel.ca, if you live anywhere near Orleans. We're playing in Yarmouth Part. We got a couple gigs, like one is Steinslek Studio, which is like an art studio. So you can go to that one. That's public. They're pretty much all within a few hours of here.
And that's danandlaurel.ca.
danandlaurel.ca, yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for being on, Dan.
I loved it, Aaron. I love getting to play all these. I'm so homesick.
Yeah, well, sorry, but at the same time, not sorry.
It's a good thing. I mean, Canada's a really special place, you know.
Yeah, it's great to hear. It's different stuff than we sometimes hear in New England. And,
yeah.
Canadian music's always welcome. So the Hearing Room has a lot of stuff going on here in New England. We have coming up on Friday, we have the Lied Twos with Mark Stepikoff. That's coming up, so please keep that in mind. And Claude Bourbon. Claude Bourbon is coming on Saturday this week. So you should definitely check those out. But also, we're doing a membership drive. We really need people to join the Hearing Room. So you can join the Hearing Room by going to our website. There's a link for membership. And you can go directly to the page. Membership is $100. And on the page, it talks about the different benefits you have from that. One of the main benefits is the Hearing Room exists. We need to keep funding coming in, and we are a nonprofit, as you know. So please send that in. Also, please go to University Music, their website, universitymusiclowell.com. And thanks to Dan Frechette again for coming on. And we will see you next week with Nick Noble. And tune in also next week. There will be details about we're starting twice a week podcasts. So we'll have some more coming up for you. Lots of talented people in the area who want to talk, and lots of interesting people and great music to hear. So we'll see you next week. This is Aaron Tornberg at the Hearing Room on the Woodshed podcast. And here is our theme song, The Hearing Room.
If you start with a dream and share it with some friends, the idea deepens and grows. The dream takes shape, it has form and substance, and community soon arose. A listening room, the hearing listening.